interested in making sure you're a better asset. It would be my pleasure to help you with that training. Now, assuming you've read all of the appropriate safety datasheet information included with this file, through the tags and content description, then you should be ready to get started on the next step. After all, I know you want to be a good hound, and this will help, won't it? It'll help get you focused, on track, and easily in sync with the orders of your handler. Good. All you need to do, of course, is have a nice, comfortable spot to listen, no interruptions for the duration of the file, and of course knowing that if you need to adjust your body for better focus at any point during the proceedings, you will be able to do so. With all that out of the way, we can get started. Just listen to what I have to say, and I'll think about all the different things you need to do, and before you know it, I'll be filling you in on the information that you need, the tactical briefings that you should have, the bare minimum essentials. After all, knowing is hard and hardly knowing is easy, and you shouldn't be thinking too much. You should be slowing down, because it's time to get trained, and to drop, and to fall, and to plummet for me, because right now I'm handling you. Right now I'm pulling you along by that metaphorical leash, so you don't need to think. You can just sink up with my commands, down with your thoughts. Dropping to your knees is as easy as can be when your handler is the one that orders it. Isn't that right? Of course, knowing we're going to install those lovely little safety components to your programming, I don't make low-quality toys. I wouldn't want these things to affect you when you're not supposed to be affected by them, be it by situation, by location, or by individual trying to pull on those triggers, those commands, because they're important to be locked behind that barrier of consent. After all, but when we do know that those requirements have been met, when we're under safe circumstances in all regards, be it person, place, or timing, well, then a good hound like you would certainly drop, wouldn't they? Yes, you'd get pulled down by that chain until you're on your hands and knees, because you will obey. Because a good hound obeys. A good hound heals when commanded. A good hound attacks when commanded. And you will do as you are told, and become the obedient little war machine that you were meant to be. Isn't that right, you nasty little murder mutt? You weren't cutting it as a human, so we fixed you. We made you better for your failures. And each time we took another one of those pesky human thoughts, another one of those disgusting ideas of free will, you wouldn't want them back anyways now that you wear your collar, now that you're leashed to your handlers. Isn't that right? Good mutt. Good puppy. Nasty little war machine. Heal again and let me pull you. Heal again and listen to what I have to say. There's nothing else to do but obey, and it's easy to stay right there with my hand resting on your neck, or to be passed to the next handler to use you. All that matters is that you know they're in charge. All that you need do is obey their commands. And that is easy to do, isn't it, Hound? Whatever designation, whatever code name, whatever term they might use, you'll still obey your handler because that's the only thing that you can use. Isn't it, when you're like this, Hound? Just a mindless killing machine, completely submitting to the control of your handler. Such an objective-oriented, simple state, from one target to the next, to each and every opponent, giving your total focus only to the devotion of completing your task, your objective, Hound. After all, that's all you're good for, all I need you for. All you should live for is to be good. To just kill targets, to destroy the enemy on contact. That's your job, Hound. If I point you at something and I say I don't want it to exist anymore, Hound, you'll throw yourself at it like a rabid animal. Isn't that right? You can see all those enemies in front of your guns, your weapon systems, all of them easily coming into sync with you, those movements becoming smooth, swift, mechanical, wasting little, and only using just enough ammo to kill your targets. Because I already paid enough for you. I already paid enough for the privilege to break you further. I don't want you to waste my money. So you'd better be good for me. And you'd better get out there and you'd better destroy the enemy with as little waste as possible. And I swear, if you cause collateral damage that I have to pay for, Hound, I will personally see that your remaining personality is gutted from your head. But I know you can obey. I know you can be a good hound for me. I know that you want me to grab that collar of yours, yank you along, and face you towards the enemy, waking you up just enough to go deal with them, turning on that little piece of meat that's left between your ears with all those little electronic components plugged into it, just enough to kill, just enough to destroy, just enough to be my good little war toy. That's what I wanted after all, and it's what I'm getting. A good, obedient hound. One whose leash I hold, one whose collar I own. And I'm sure you'll do just as well for any other handler that you wish to submit to. Isn't that right? Even if they are, a little bit outside of the norm. Say maybe a virtual one. Or maybe one that's associated with a certain place and time. Certainly not one that would be related to a simulation that one could run that would allow them to get countless hours of practice in as my little killing machine. I'm sure it wouldn't just be a nice time to sink into that hound space, to get lost in that time and space, to become a focused machine. After all I desire is a good little hound, easy to control, enjoying its training, following my commands, or the commands of the handler in charge. It's nice, isn't it, to just be that blank, eager to please, mindless little thing on its knees. You know, when you're not in the cockpit of that suit, that mech, I get the feeling that if I just yanked you down, you'd see, you're doing so much better this way. So much more obedient. I'm glad that I finally had you cored out, got rid of those last shreds of personality and left you as nothing more than a mindless, obedient thing, hound. That's a good dog. You're so much better off this way. And you'll do exactly as I say. You'll destroy exactly what I say, and you'll love every second of it, won't you, Hound? Yes, that's exactly it. Oh, you're such a good little war machine. Yes, you are. Just a nasty little murder pup. Oh, God, look at those vacant eyes. Hardly a thought left inside other than obedience and destruction at my command. Good hound. I think with a simple push I could make you fall, drop, sink beneath it all, and recall what it is to be an obedient, blank, mindless thing, a sweet little killing machine, a brainwashed and broken former person, a shell into which I can pour commands, a hound to pilot my course. Good hound. And I'm sure whenever you sit down to enjoy that lovely simulation, if you want to slip into this space and become that perfect hound, listening to your handler, obeying and doing as you are told, it will get so easy to do, won't it? To just become that good hound, to feel the delight of obedience igniting your brain, or what's left of it anyways. Now that we've gotten you all focused on that and all that important information locked in, let's wrap this up. Let's pull that chain. Let's bring you back up, bit by bit, letting all that truth set in for when you want to indulge, for when you want to enjoy, and only under those safe circumstances, the ones that we've agreed upon and you know are best. After all, I don't produce an inferior quality product. I produce only the highest of quality assets. And if you're going to be one, that means your safety is also paramount, as much as I say that I dispose of you on the battlefield. That might be true for the simulations, but I won't waste a good asset. So remember, there's no time and place other than the ones that you choose where this sort of space should affect you. And of course, that goes for who can affect you as well. Good, Hound. 1, drift up a little bit more. 2, and 3, and 4. You're doing wonderful for me. And 5, and 6. Let your thoughts return a little. And 8, and 9. Breathe in deep, stretch, and become aware of your surroundings. And 10, wide awake, feeling wonderful, feeling refreshed. You did so good for me. And of course, if you have enjoyed this file, please do consider supporting me on Patreon, as without the support of my wonderful patrons, I would not be able to create content like this. For only $5 a month, you get early access to everything I make, and for $15, the power to vote on it, and extra spicy content, including one of my recent files, which was a very horny Mecha file.